Welcome to the Intuitive Rising podcast. I'm your host, Amy Brooks. This is a podcast that invites you to remember who you are, return to yourself, and rise into your highest and best soul self. Every week, I will be sharing inspiring conversations about topics that hold keys to your awakening. My mission as an international evidential psychic medium, Reiki practitioner, and intuitive mentor is to help you rise into who you were born to be. Enjoy the show. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Intuitive Rising podcast. I'm your host, Amy Brooks. So happy to see you again. Happy spring. Happy spring to you. I hope you're all well. I hope you're doing so well. We're back here for our monthly check-in, our monthly guidance. I'm going to get right into it. So this is your energetic forecast for April of 2025. We're going to begin with our tarot card. I am shuffling live. I'll try to pull this away from the mic. My mic is so sensitive, just so we don't have a lot of noise, but I did feel called to pull everything live with you. So we are doing that. We've got the Light Seers Tarot as I use every week. Our Oracle deck this week comes by way of one that I haven't used in a while, the Golden Future Oracle. This is a card that aligns with the New Earth energy, which is a topic that we've been talking about lately. And lastly, our soul's journey lesson. And my soul's, oh, look at that. That one flew right out of the deck. Okay, thank you, Spirit. We're going to get right into it. So I'm going to reveal these two cards for you, tell you what they're all about, and then we are going to get into the number, the animal, and the color support as well for April. Now, this is very interesting to me, okay? Because right before I recorded this episode, I recorded a bonus episode for my bonus subscribers. If this is new for you and you didn't know I had bonus content, I do, and it is available, unfortunately, right now, just for Apple Podcast listeners, as we host this podcast in-house, and Apple allows you to upload bonus like paid content to them, but Spotify does not, unfortunately, yet. So if you are an Apple Podcast listener and you would like some more additional content to listen to, you can always check out my paid content. Anyways, the reason I'm bringing that up is because I started doing weekly check-ins for that bonus content. And a card that came in was the 10 of Swords. And as I was channeling the message for everybody with the 10 of Swords guidance, I was like describing the energy of the 10 of Swords and kind of like what that was telling everyone, what the message was around that. And I said, it's literally like right before you get to turn the page. It's right when you are almost to the end of a goal, a journey, a lesson, you're about to break a pattern, etc. And you're just almost to the end, and you're almost ready to turn the page and move on from that. And then it's quite literal, that message as well, about turning the page, because what comes after the 10 in a suit of tarot, in a tarot deck rather, page, right? So the reason I kind of say, well, this is interesting, is because I just recorded that. I talked about the 10 of Swords, and like, what comes after the 10 of Swords is the Page of Swords. And guess what energy we've got moving into April? It's the Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords is an energy that I really, really, really love. And I really align with this energy. I feel like this is me in a nutshell. So what does that mean? Well, it means that April is a month when maybe we have moved through, like maybe the messages that came through with the 10 of Swords for the bonus people is really like moving through the energy of everyone, which makes sense, which is that we were right at the kind of doorstep of moving past something that was limiting us mentally, right? Mindset wise, behavior wise. And so now we're kind of like really breaking through. This energy is kind of like the cool, for those of you who are maybe north of 35, moving into the 40s. Maybe you're with me in the mid 40 club. Do you remember back in the day, the commercials for Kool-Aid, when the Kool-Aid guy would like burst through the paper wall? Well, that's what this energy reminds me of, is breaking through the paper wall, and the Kool-Aid guy's like, hey, I'm here. And there's an energy of excitability, of motivation, of like, oh, I feel like good things are coming. So this is the energy that I'm picking up on. The undercurrent of April for you feels really, really, really good. So it feels like your mind might be moving a mile a minute. Maybe your mouth is too. I don't know. Might be a great time to organize something that you need to do that you've been putting off, in which you need to share something verbally, written wise. Maybe you're just trying to, I'm hearing like collating, the word to collate something. That was one of my first jobs, by the way. I had a job at a hospital, and I was in a department that doesn't even exist anymore. It was called performance management, rather. And I would have to take all of the employee performance reviews from like every employee in this huge hospital, like this district. It would take forever, but I got really good at it, and I'd have to collate. So like everybody would have a file, and then in that file, there'd be like, like a manager, like different roles of people that would fill things out for people's performance roles. And then I'd have to collate them together in one document. And so that, for whatever reason, side note, that is what I'm bringing in as well, as like collating stuff. So like streamlining. So maybe it's like there's an influx of ideas, and there's like an excitability in our mindset. We're feeling a little inspired. Maybe it's the spring weather. Maybe it's the like 7:30 p.m. sunsets, whatever it is, it's working for us. So I would work in the month of August at collating, at streamlining. Is there something that we can do better? Is there something that we can do more efficiently? I feel like these are questions to ask yourself in the month of April. What am I doing that could be done better? What am I doing that could be eliminated so that I'm more efficient? Pay attention to opportunities, to conversations, to dreams, to downloads, thoughts, whatever around that question. That feels very, very important to me this month. Take a chance on yourself, please, this month. This energy is like begging for it. Okay, now we're going to move into the Oracle deck. So like I said, this is a deck that I don't use very often. It is called the Golden Future Oracle. So it's about the new Earth energy. It's by Diana Cooper. Some of you may be familiar with her. We got the Illuminated Master card. I want to show it to you. So those that are listening on YouTube will be able to see it. It's a stunning card. All the artwork in this deck is stunning. Okay, Illuminated Masters. So we've got 5 robed figures. We see their backs, and they are standing, looks like they're standing on a rock, looking out over to the water. And there's a rainbow and like technicolor colors, sun, there's butterflies, a hummingbird, beautiful imagery. So it says, be the spreader of love. Okay, so let's go to the guidebook just for a quick moment to see what this is telling us and how that connects. Let's wrap it up with a nice little bow with the Page of Swords. So this is a card that is asking you to examine your heart, okay? To examine your feelings without ego, if at all possible. Kind of like a card that's suggesting this energy of April. So as we're streamlining, as we are eliminating things that don't serve us, which feels really aligned with like the post-eclipse stuff that we had going on in March, after we've kind of swept that all away, what we're left with is the truth. So it feels like March, there was a lot of energy, and then we had these back-to-back eclipses happening. And that is really just trying to sweep away the cobwebs in a really big way. And I'm unsure if I even use that terminology in the March energetic forecast. I'll have to go back and listen. But that's coming in, and it almost feels like deja vu. So I feel like I must have said that recently. So this is asking you to view relationships, situations, and circumstances through the lens of love. Okay. So, as you're streamlining, as you are motivated, as you are like really feeling abundant and in flow, this energy only supports and encourages you to look at everything you're doing, all your interactions with the people that you surround yourself with through this lens of love. So when we are collating something, when we're making something more efficient or streamlining it, maybe we are like looking at something that hasn't been done correctly before, whether it's been ourselves hasn't done something like to it's the best of our ability. Maybe it's somebody else. Maybe we want to help somebody else. I feel actually like there's this support coming in, like where maybe we, in the month of April, a good chunk of us maybe supporting others in some way. And maybe it's this back and forth reciprocal thing. And I feel like it is in this moment because I'm seeing spirit like give me signs for the yin and yang, which is I often see this when they want to tell me student teacher. So like you're both the student and the teacher. So in April, what I'm hearing is like we're both the student and the teacher. And so, maybe some of us in this energy feel like we're a little high on our horses, right? It's like laughing about that. Hold your horses, right? But also like get off your high horse, right? It's kind of like what's coming in from spirit in a funny way. And they say that in the way like when we're like going and we're feeling really successful and we're feeling like really motivated and we're being able to look at things with a fine tooth comb and we're being able to like discard things that aren't working. Be mindful of the people around you that may not be moving at the same pace, right? We don't want to bristle anyone. We don't want to ruffle somebody's feathers that may be having the best intentions. Okay, so be mindful of like as you're moving forward and you're accelerating and you're growing and evolving, get rid of the hierarchy. Try your best to get rid of the hierarchy of like, I'm here and somebody else is here because they haven't moved at the same pace as me. So try to look at everything through the lens of like teacher student. We are all teaching and learning from each other, compassion and love. Okay. Everyone is different. It says we all have challenges, but love is everywhere. It is unconfined and unrestricted. It dissolves everything. So this is really aligned as well with Christ consciousness. Okay. Unity consciousness. This is where we're going in the new earth, where we're just able to see each other for who we actually really are. I'm going to do a whole episode about this. I know I put out an episode recently about the new earth, and it was more to help with the challenges that we're going through as we rebuild the new earth ourselves. And, as the crumbling is happening from what was before, we're kind of in that middle, in that liminal space. And we're being encouraged to build a foundation that we actually want to support us moving forward. However, I'm feeling in this moment that I'm being told to talk more about what the new earth feels like. What does that really look like? Again, it's kind of like one of those things when you think about the future is we're actively creating it, but it already exists at some level as well. And when we actively create, we align ourselves to get closer to that possibility. Okay, so I'll leave that for now. Let's get moving with the overall Soul's Journey lesson. This is a card that popped out, if you'll remember, at the beginning when I was shuffling. Abundance, not surprising at all. Abundance goes so well with this Illuminated Masters and unconditional love message. Also goes so well with the Page of Swords. So there's not only an abundance of inspiration, an abundance of thoughts and downloads and opportunities for you. There's an abundance of unconditional love. And when you combine those two things together, you get alignment, right? There is no such thing as luck in the way that we think. Luck is simply, an alignment of self with environment, self with opportunity creates what we call luck. Okay. So your card says, I am limitless. I can manifest whatever I desire in the physical reality, validating what we just said about creating this new earth energy, moving on to that path, so to speak. And I will promise to talk about this very soon in the future. Okay, so I'm going to leave the cards now, and I'm going to take a moment to see the number support that wants to come in for us, the animal messenger, as well as the color. Now, I already know what color it is because I can see it in my mind's eye. So we're going to start with that. And the color is yellow. Okay. So yellow is your color of support this month. This may be a color that you reach for in the closet, that you kind of have in your decor a bit more. Maybe it's just a color that you visualize more often when you're meditating or you're just kind of zoning out. Yellow is connected to the solar plexus chakra. Okay. So right here in our solar plexus, in our bellies, and it's very connected to like solar, sun. It's connected to our will. It's connected to like what drives us and what makes us motivated, and the sense of like perseverance and determination. And so there's that coming at you in spades this month. Okay. And it is connected to this message of abundance, this message of like moving through, you've moved through the resistance, and now your gift is this abundance and this inspiration of ideas and thoughts. And like, oh, I feel like I want to do this and this and this. It's also going to be abundant. There's going to be opportunities to help another. Please think of this symbol of teacher, student, teacher, student, teacher, student. But yeah, you've got this color yellow that's really supporting. Yellow is a beautiful spring color as well. I'm thinking about like daffodils and tulips and the sunshine and Easter baskets and all the amazing, wonderful things. So yellow is your support this month. Think about the solar plexus. Give that a Google if you need additional kind of information on how to work with the solar plexus. But it's really about aligning with like what is important to you and what makes you feel like revved up this month. Okay. So follow the breadcrumbs and follow your curiosities this month like never before. All right. Now we've got animal. Okay. Interesting. I don't know if I've connected to this animal before. In my mind's eye, I'm seeing a porcupine. Okay. So I'm like, okay, I don't know if I've connected to you before. I'm just going to stay with Mr. Porcupine here for a moment. I'm going to see just kind of what comes in, impressions that come in associated with Mr. Porcupine in this moment. Okay, so it's this message again of like ruffling feathers or bristling, right? Porcupine has these really hard, my goodness, what are they called in this moment? I can't remember, but you know what I mean. They're prickly, all right? They can hurt needles, right? They have these really prickly needles all over. And so there's a sense of like this softness inside. There's a sense of kindness. So I think this is really connecting to this message around the unconditional love message that came up and teacher student, and to try to like have compassion and look at someone's situation, like not through the lens of ego, but through the lens of this is somebody that's learning something in their experience. And this is their lived experiences. And it's not for us to judge it. It's just like a kind of an acceptance. And as you're on your own path to alignment and you are ascending and evolving and all those beautiful words, you may feel naturally like you want to help another move closer to this path of acceleration and success. But remember that we can inspire people to move, but we can't force them to move. We can't force anybody to do something that they're not ready to do. I mean, how many, I have died trying in the past, almost died trying in the past. It doesn't work. We have to be ready for change. So all we can do, I feel like what Spirit's saying is that might frustrate us this month of like, but I'm helping you and you're not doing anything with it. Or, this is what's best. This is what's worked for me. Why are you still here learning this lesson? That takes us into a place of judgment, into a hierarchy. Okay. Just be open. Everybody's path is different. Just because something worked for you, just because, you're ready to move somebody and you feel like you want to help them, evolve or, move around something, let something go, doesn't mean that they're ready or that they will. And maybe it can actually be unkind to keep pushing. So I feel like what I'm hearing is just be mindful of that. Be aware that that might be a situation that you encounter time and time again this month. It's not about you. It's not about them. It's not an insult, a slight if somebody is not taking your offers of help. If they are not moving at the pace that you want them to, that's a you problem, is what I hear from Spirit. Spirit's being a little cheeky today, but it's true. It's just so true. So be mindful of like having really good intentions, but coming across in a way that's like judgy, or like you're getting frustrated because somebody's not doing what you think is best. It makes the quill. That's what it quills. They were quills. That's what's on the porcupine. Thank you, Mr. Porcupine. The quills come out. So underneath the quills, this is like a protection. Underneath is a soft, malleable is the word I'm hearing. Somebody that wants to be inspired, somebody that wants to move, but they want to be moved through compassion. They don't want to be moved through judgment or force. Compassion and inspiration. It's kind of like you go first and do your thing. And you shine so brightly that it inspires another person to do so. Okay. So that's your job. That's what Mr. Porcupine says. And this color of yellow and the connection to the solar plexus will help you with that. And all your connection to all the ideas and all of that coming through with the Page of Swords will also help you. Okay. Now let's leave that. Let's go to our number support this month. And I'm seeing 1212, which is super interesting. I wonder if there's a 1212 card in this deck, if I can reach for it off camera. I have an angel number oracle, which I didn't plan to look at today, but I'm wondering if there's a 1212 card in here, because if there is, I'm going to read it to you. And there is. Okay. So I'm going to read it to you. It says, putting myself and my mental health first is never selfish. So there's a message about that. It's asking you to be mindful of like overworking yourself and energy drain. It is asking you to put yourself first this month. Okay. Which is interesting. I think because we're talking a lot about supporting other people, and I feel like there's a lot of opportunities to support other people. But I feel like if we take ourselves out of like fixing and savior mode, and instead we look at like, the best way I can help this person is also by helping myself. And, when I align to my truth, when I have boundaries, when I say yes to myself, when I say no to things that aren't aligned, that helps that person do that for them too, in a way that is them initiating that versus being forced. So I think that's what's kind of coming in when I hear call to put yourself first. Resolving lingering inner conflict. That was something that we kind of addressed at the beginning when I brought in the like 10 of Swords message. And so still a little bit of that coming in. Addressing insecurities and self-doubts. So yeah, this is a card of working through your mindset, right? Which just makes sense with the swords energy coming in. Mindset of utmost importance, knowing that, it's kind of like I'm seeing putting not your gas mask. Funny story. My husband was in the military and had one of those like really weird gas masks, like stored in our closet forever, which was creepy as heck. But anyways, putting on your air mask, right? First, modeling the behavior. So it's almost like, I think this comes in for parents as well in a really big way, or people that are in a position of like leading another. So leadership roles through work, etc. It's like modeling the behavior that you want to see, not forcing, not judging, but like modeling it. Comes in a really big way with your 1212 first, or 1212 number as well. Put self first, model what you want to see, but also like acceptance that everybody's on their own path. Everybody moves at their own pace. They're always moving at the pace, that is right for them, that is aligned to where they're at right now. That you can inspire them. to accelerate, absolutely, but we can't ever force. So keep that in mind this month as well, okay? Really big month for like influencing other people. We want to do that as positively as possible. All right. Happy Easter for those of you who celebrate. Happy spring to everyone. We're happy the daylight savings time is back. I don't know about you, but I feel like a renewed sense of life. I feel like, oh, there I am. I'm back. So I hope that you're feeling that too. And you have kind of stretched out all the post eclipse craziness, all the world craziness, and you're feeling as centered and peaceful, as calm as you can possibly be. And I wish you all the best. And I'll see you back here next week. Have a great month.
If you have enjoyed this episode, please consider hopping on over to wherever you listen to your podcast and giving it a 5-star review. Thank you so much in advance. If you'd like to keep in touch, please head over to my website, theintuitiverising.com, to keep up with all the things that I have been doing. I also have a private Facebook community for people just like you. It's called the Intuitive Rising Community. All you got to do is request to join, and I will let you in. Keep rising.